The Anatomy of Life podcast is where we delve into the elements that shape our existence. This is your audio guide on all the building blocks of your life: relationships, purpose, your mind, your body, and everything in between. Because at the core of it all is health, the foundation that shapes how we live, how we grow, and how we thrive. I'm your host, Lexi, and today we're having yet another powerful conversation exploring the transformative power of creativity and community. Creativity isn't just about artistic expression. It plays a crucial role in mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Creative outlets help us navigate life with resilience and joy. And play isn't just for kids. It's transformative for adults too, offering mindfulness, a social connection, and a sense of belonging. But in a world that often prioritizes productivity over play, how can we make space for creativity in our daily lives? That's where Geekdom comes in. Today, we're going to explore how creative communities like Geekdom reduce isolation, support mental health, and inspire joy. Through art, gaming, and storytelling, they create spaces for connection and personal growth. Founded by today's guest, the visionary behind Geekdom, Abdulla Al Mosallam, as well as the Chief Administrative Officer of the Doha Film Institute, Abdullah has been instrumental in cultivating Qatar's pop culture scene. Geekdom is more than an event. It's a movement that fosters play, imagination, and belonging that helps shape a healthier life. So join me as I discuss the power of creativity, the role of play in mental wellness, and how building community can transform lives. I dove straight into asking Abdullah what inspired him to create a space like Geekdom. Take a listen to what he shared about the birth of Geekdom and the community that began to develop around it.
Honestly, it was a shot in the dark at first because I was approached by my current boss, Fatma Rameh, the amazing CEO of Doha Film Institute, when I was working for another organization, and she was pitching the Agile Film Festival and the first edition of Agile Film Festival, and the theme was anime, and of course I'm a huge anime fan. We had a very long conversation about it, and afterwards I asked her, like, what are you doing around the festival? Are there any exhibitions, any activation? And she said, no, it's just a film festival. I'm like, yeah, but like I suggested that an exhibition would help also draw attention to it, attract people. I remember her clearly saying, who would come to an anime exhibition? And I said, trust me, a lot of people would come. Honestly, I didn't think a lot of people would come.
But the faith was there.
The faith was there,
Yeah.
and I remember I was given a certain budget and a project manager, the amazing Shuruq Shaheen, who also still works with me on Geekdom till this day. And Geekdom started, like at first it was a very small exhibition in Building 5 in Qatar. It was a struggle to find people to participate because being an anime lover, it's hard to... Culturally, it's not accepted,
Okay.
You're supposed to be an adult, you're not supposed to
Yes.
watch cartoons. A lot of people do it, but they don't talk
It's
about it. So we had a lot of artists join, but when it comes to exhibiting collectibles and pop culture art, I really had a hard time. And I had a person even pull up the night before of the opening, and I had to fill up his space, with another exhibit from my side, and even created an alias of myself just,
To fill the spot.
to fill the spot. Yeah, exactly. And it was a huge success, to be honest. Like I did not expect it at all. I really was worried, but it attracted a lot of people because, like a lot of geeks do it at home, they geek around,
Yes.
they watch anime, but it gave them a good space to socialize. I met a lot of friends
Yes.
that I have till this day. I mean, 2013 to 2025, November 2013, and it was like, I met so many amazing people that are friends till this
Yeah.
day. Because we share something, in common, the love of
Absolutely.
anime, being geek,
Yeah.
it,
It's a whole social hub.
But creating a space like Geekdom didn't, as expected, come easy. I asked Abdullah what challenges arose when introducing Geekdom into the Doha community. And what he says next gives us a glimpse into the importance of pushing through barriers to create positive impact.
You must have come across some challenges. And what have those been throughout the years that Geekdom has been around?
I mean, we got a lot of backlash from the community, that it's a waste of time. It's not I'm talking not about the geek community, but the local community, a lot of people did not want us to encourage their children to or their sons and daughters to pursue this, but they don't realize what is an economic impact of it. Like a lot of artists who usually have merchandise online, their sales, when they join Geekdom, their sales double and triple, and we gave them a platform, to interact with their audience. When you see the material, when you talk to the artist, you find the passion, and that's when they enjoy keeping in touch outside the festival, buying stuff, buying new merch, suggesting new art, and even people collaborating on new projects. They meet at Geekdom and they collaborate on new projects.
I've seen it.
Together,
I've been lucky enough to attend a Geekdom, and there was a lady that made these bookmarks, and she does amazing art. If you're an artist, you should go and check out Geekdom because the art there is incredible. And when we got to her stall, and she was giving out, it was the last day of Geekdom, I remember, and she was giving away her merchandise. She was like, I've done so well at Geekdom that I can give this away. And this lady next to me, we're going to collaborate, and they did a whole adult coloring in book. I'm an adult coloring in person, and she has collaborated with that young lady. So two young ladies who were both artists had stalls next to each other, and I happened to come across them right at the end of the show, and they were like, take our stuff, we've done so well, and they like, come back next year, we're gonna have a coloring book together. It was incredible.
After hearing the positive social and economic impact creative and playful spaces can have on both individuals and communities, Abdulla explained how the platform empowered creatives in other ways and shares some really personal experiences.
And that actually brings me to what ways does Geekdom empower the local creatives?
Being a platform, and now we're more year-round activations, we're more heavily on social media, we're encouraging people to pursue their passion. Sometimes they're always hesitant to pursue something, whether it's in esports, whether it's in arts and crafts, whether it's in
cosplay,
cosplay crafting. Like I've seen amazing costumes that are like advancing year on year, and that make me proud. It's giving them a space to express their passion, safe space, and that's the key, because as you said, you are a geek, but you're a different type of geek.
I'm a different type of geek.
And that's the thing, beauty of Geekdom. There are so many different type of geeks that are under one roof, no judgment, having fun, meeting others, learning from each other, and that's the key. That's what Geekdom created, this sense of community that the board game enthusiast is playing with the esports person, singing karaoke, buying art.
I've seen you sing karaoke.
I have no talent, but it's Geekdom is an outlet. That's the thing. Yeah.
And this is why the Anatomy of Life podcast really wanted to have you on to talk about these things, is because it is an outlet. It's a personal expression as well as a community expression, and you find your place in the world.
Yeah, I remember crying at the last day of each event. The first years, all the way to maybe 2016, 18, maybe 16, 17, 18. I think that's when I realized, I'm very proud of what I've done. And now it's so smooth, it's running perfectly. People are believing in the mission, believing in empowering people. And even though, I can say that it started for selfish reasons, I wanted a place that I can enjoy as well, because, I was bullied so much growing up being a geek, in recess, I didn't go outside the classroom. I would stay in the classroom, read comics.
Yeah.
And I was,
that was your safe space.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was made fun of, for that. I wasn't much into football or sports. So being a geek has always been my identity, and making sure that the new generation actually enjoy being geeks in a safe environment, having fun, no judgment.
Yeah.
That's always has been my ultimate goal.
I absolutely love that. And that's the cornerstone of health coaching as well. We want people to live in their identity wholeheartedly, be so comfortable in your skin. And Geekdom is creating a space for people like that.
Geekdom creates space for entrepreneurship. And Abdulla shares some success stories. And we move into chatting about how such social interactions at Geekdom amongst the gamers, the artists, and the like contribute to an individual's mental and emotional well being, as well as how they interact socially.
Well, there is a lot of success stories, but the one, and I'm proud of all of them.
Yeah.
I'm proud of all of them. But the one that is near and dear to my heart is my friend Hatem and my friend Deep. They used to volunteer for Geekdom, running esports tournaments. You know, they used. I genuinely like. They loved running esports tournament, and you know, off season, they decided like, wait a minute, there is a need in the market. Why don't we create an online platform for esports? You know, that we can run, you know, esports competitions. You know, and it's all the esports tournaments around Doha need such a platform.
Yeah.
And Showdown was created, and they came back to sponsor Geekdom, which
No
made me
way.
so proud. And now they're really big. They even joined the Web Summit, you know, showcasing their product and you know and their platform. I'm so proud of them. They're really good friends, and they're really smart people that make me happy to see such success stories come out of this.
And that Geekdom was a success in that. It's grassroots.
Exactly. And you know, like, Geekdom is just a platform, a way of showing and giving people the interaction with others.
Geekdom is not just about anime, and we've touched on art, and I want to go into the art and health connection. And so Geekdom hosts a variety of events and activities, you know, from cosplay to esports that you mentioned. And how do you think these activities foster social connections and then contribute to an individual's mental and emotional well-being? I mean, you just spoke about being bullied in school.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I have the idea of having people just, you know, be themselves in a space, you know, where they're not afraid. I've been approached by a lady who I've known her son for many years, but I didn't realize, like, I realized that he was autistic, and he was always at Geekdom. He was very respectful, like so happy, so genuine. She made an effort to come one day to look for me to say thank you, because her son is like feeling, like always feels good coming to Geekdom. It's the only space that she feels comfortable letting him come alone.
Wow.
You know, without him being
Feeling just out of place.
Yes, exactly. And he loves anime. He does amazing props. I follow his social media account, and he makes his own props for cosplay, and it just makes me, you know, warm and fuzzy inside to see someone feels that they belong somewhere, you know?
Because mentally he was probably feeling so isolated, and he's found a tribe where he's like, whoa, I can really like just get into myself. And this is what happens when a space like Geekdom is created. People start to feel welcomed, accepted, and that goes into the health aspect of it, because then socially their social anxiety gets dumbed down, dimmed away. They don't have it anymore, and they get to come out of their shelf, and that's so healthy from a mental aspect and a social aspect, especially for children that are autistic.
Now, creative expression can act as a tool for personal health and resilience. And here's what Abdulla had to say about engaging in creative expression.
In your personal opinion, how can engaging in fandom and creative expression act as a tool for personal health and resilience?
A lot of the artists and a lot of the cosplayers started creating their own characters. They started creating their own superheroes, their own images, you know, and that's, you know, that's the way to express themselves, you know, like
it's an individual thing.
It's an individual thing, exactly, you know, like I'm a fan of cosplay. I love cosplay, and you know, but I also love creating your own identity, your own superhero that comes from what do you think that you need rescuing or help, you know. It makes it more personal. You know, like as much as I love anime, as much as I love Marvel superheroes, it's just like creating your own always you know, makes it like more closer and near and dear
Absolutely.
to your
And it helps with anxiety. When we were speaking about identity, and you're like, anime was my identity, you know, and all these things that you did. And I struggled with my identity for the longest time, as people have heard through the progression of the podcast. They've heard how I've spoken about identity and cosplay, or doing anime, or reading comics. You know, we even spoke about the whole community kind of shunning it at first and being like, that's what a waste of time. But it's not a waste of time if you're allowing people to explore themselves and in a way of a superhero is so amazing, because half the time we don't really build ourselves up, we don't speak nicely to ourselves, we speak quite horribly to ourselves. Half the things we say to ourselves we wouldn't say to someone else. So to see artists and children and men and women, you know, adults as well, moving into that sphere, it really solidifies the fact that play is important, creativity is important, and it's all part of your health. It helps you with not only the anxiety but depression. You know, it really speaks to people that have anxiety. I know you and I, we both have a lot of anxiety, yes. Social anxiety as well. And I've seen you at Geekdom and you really flourish and it comes out. But every person in that room is experiencing the same thing. Yeah. It's incredible.
Now, Geekdom has been around for a number of years, and so we spoke about the evolution of the event itself, how it's transformed, and Abdulla shared some memorable moments from the event before sharing how they stay connected to the evolving trends we see in pop culture and how these trends impact the health of the community.
So we're going to move away from art and health and just talk about the event itself and the evolution of the event. And how has Geekdom transformed since the first event? I mean, we've got nuggets, but you've been in the thick of it. So how's it transformed?
So in 2013, it was a yearly event. Once a year, coincide with Doha Film Festival in November. And we were getting around maybe 2015-16, we started getting a lot of requests to participate that we couldn't accommodate, which made me proud, and we had to be selective as, you know, trying to give people a chance, you know, new
yes.
people chance to participate. Up until 2022, Sheikh Mayasa, our chairperson, gave us this building, amazing building in Lusail, Dar Lusail, for Geekdom, and we had our biggest event back then. And since we had the event, we started having geek ends in between Geekdom. So Geekdom is our annual event, but still every quarter we have a geek end, you know, like a smaller event, but just, you know, to keep the community busy, create a lot of activations.
Excitement around it as
exactly. Well. And then, you know, our slots to accept people between, we based on the layout, because we try to change the layout every time, we accept participants between 25 to 35 people. But the number of applicants we receive is 95 to 105 every time. And
that's
it's always
amazing.
It's always so difficult because they're all amazing,
yeah.
They're all great in their own way. So we try to give new people new chances. That's why you see new faces every event.
Yeah, exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that exposure is important because it's like we were saying, it gives a person a platform. And if you socially awkward or you're a geek and you're not sure how, this is your in, you know. And it's really good to see new talents.
Yes,
you know?
And also now that since also 2022 we started having our own social media account, which is geekdom.qa on Instagram, TikTok, and all the other platforms.
Nice.
And we have an amazing team. A shout out to Esma. She's doing a really good job engaging the community, keeping things fresh, you know, giving new businesses coverage, trying to boost attraction to different artists. And now we're starting to have shows, like we have now for Ramadan we had a game show.
Wow.
That is a fun show, and I told her that you are a victim of your own success.
Yes.
Because now the bar is so
high.
Yeah, I expect more things, and you know, to be done. We have amazing ideas. It's just about having the time,
executing them.
To execute them.
Yeah, I know. So then, what are some of your memorable moments from all these past events that have happened?
So many, you know, like Sheikh Mayasa coming to our events, praising what we do, trying to push more local success, having Qatar Development Bank come to meet the artists and the craftsmen, you know, to help them build hone their craft and how to turn it into a business.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest issues
obstacles,
things that we face, that all of these are they're hobbyists. they love what they do, but they don't think about making it an income.
Yeah.
You know, it is an income, but not a successful income.
Yeah.
So we worked with Qatar Development Bank to help them, you know, how to price their products by checking, you know, how much does it cost you, you know, the raw material, what space, time that you need, the time, you know, and
Creating a business.
Creating a business, and you know, and help them how to set up a home business,
That's
which is a
amazing.
thing now. So they're able to sell, they're able to be regulated by the government,
Yeah.
you know, and just, you know, be a successful business. You know?
And that's amazing that you just said now our home business is a thing now. And for geeks, the one thing about that I know, we love working from home.
Yes.
Because besides being in communities like this where we we've seen, heard, and all of this, we do like to isolate. Not that I'm glorifying isolation, but it helps them to, when they're overstimulated, to go back into their world, recreate, and then know that they can be successful.
Yeah.
You know, and geeks are, you know, changing the world. How do you stay connected with the evolving trends in pop culture? And how do these trends impact community health?
I try, I'm myself, you know, I'm 45 years old. I try my best to keep up, but it's
so much.
It's so much, too much sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why we have an amazing team that we sit, we collaborate, we think, you know, it's always, I run Geekdom as a democracy. Like, and
we vote for everything.
We vote for everything, and I've been voted out sometimes, you know.
Vetoed.
I'm not vetoed, but like I lose, you know, the vote sometimes, you know, because I trust my team.
Good.
And honestly, like, they never let me down, and I'm so proud of them. Shout out to Shuruq, Ahmed, Asma, and everyone that worked on Geekdom, because we have so many amazing volunteers as well.
Yeah.
Without them, they are the success of Geekdom, and of course the community that also showcase. Because Geekdom is just a space. It's the people in it, the people that participate, the people that attend, that makes it what it is. I've said it so many times, and whether we like it or not, we are one family.
Yeah.
You know,
Whether you like it or not.
Siblings don't like each other sometimes, you know, and that happens.
And that's what makes a family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes it work.
But yeah, we make it work.
But you're so right, because of the volunteers. When I arrived, from the moment you get from the door till when you leave, you're constantly looked after. You are shown the way. I love the way that you come into Geekdom. It's very, very interactive. It's super interactive going right through. And one of our friends, we have a mutual friend, and she went in and she was like, Lex, it's like a wonderland. It's like a wonderland when you go in there. So shout out to your team, because it shows. Yeah. It really does show. And your future vision, because we want to know, like, where are we going to go from here? So what are your aspirations for Geekdom in the coming years?
So the plan is, and this is already in motion, hopefully it will be executed soon, for the Geekdom building to be a center. So the idea is to build it up, to make it, to have a multi-purpose space, board game space, esports space, workshop, fabrication labs, office space for startups, you know.
That's amazing, like co-working spaces.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It will be open. We're going to be doing Geek Ends every month. We're going to be doing movie marathons. We're going to be doing cosplays, talks, all these things.
Singing,
karaoke, available, you know, on almost on daily basis. We'll have something to do there.
Okay.
Workshops for video game development, video game marketing, character design. All these things, you know, that's the idea, is to make it a center for people, like new people to come in who are talented, but they needed like more skillful, someone skillful to help them guide them through the way, and make
mentorship.
Make Geekdom an annual event that's done outside somewhere else, like UNCC or DECC.
Wow, that's big.
And make it international. So I think, you know, now we've been working on Geekdom for many years. And the community is ready to be shoulder to shoulder with international companies that are coming to Doha, because I wanted to make sure that when it's easy to throw money at an event and bring international companies and they can dominate the market.
Yeah.
But now we have so many talented people that can really do an amazing job. I mean, one of the people that I'm also always impressed by, there is a Qatari couple that during COVID lockdown, they decided to learn new skills, and they worked on woodwork, so they started doing carpentry and furniture. And because they're geek, and they have an amazing shop, by the way, at the Gate Mall, and because they're geek, they decided to make special products. So like, they will have, coasters that will have Naruto or different animes or Pokemon,
Are you able to tell us the name?
Yeah, it's Owl Business Group.
As you can tell, creative spaces become more than just creative spaces. And I was curious to find out if he ever imagined that Geekdom would be a space that would foster aspects of health and well-being and become more than just a space for gamers and more about a space that creates belonging.
Did you ever imagine it to be a space that fosters aspects of health and well-being?
No, it's something that we became aware of, or started doing when we realized that a lot of people are coming, who are, whether they're depressed, whether they want somewhere to belong, whether, they're on a wheelchair. I remember, and that's my fault, we didn't even have a ramp for a wheelchair like many years ago. And it was brought to our attention, and then we started putting these things into mind, because we really need to be inclusive in many levels. As you know, like, we didn't have a building back then.
Qatar.
It was in Qatar. We would hire a building from Qatar Cultural Village, whether it was building 5, then we grew to 18, then we started taking 18 and 19, and it started growing out of,
growing out of its own skin. It's amazing.
So
but it's really good to know that, there's inclusivity and people of all, like, whether you are disabled or you have anxiety or you're just a pure geek that loves to be with other geeks, it's super inclusive.
What makes me
emotional
and be proud, like, I had a lot of friends that used to come with their children, and they used to enjoy it, and then with time, they start coming alone. So I asked
without
them,
the children.
Without the children. They, I said, why? I said, I used to bring them for me. I was too embarrassed to come by myself.
It was an excuse, I'm bringing the kids.
Now, they're coming.
It's actually for
themselves.
me.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And now adults can go full heart. It's so open, so proud to be there. I like to paint and color in and create, and I do woodwork as well, or I did back in high school. And to see people do it, and adults, it gives you permission to step into that space. It gives you permission to express. It's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Creativity has proven to ease anxiety, curb depression, and improve mental health. Spaces such as Geekdom give people from all ages and diverse backgrounds the permission to fully immerse themselves in a side of themselves that would more often than not be neglected and be suppressed, that ultimately becomes a detriment if creativity is stifled. Abdullah goes on to giving some advice about tuning into a little bit of pop culture from time to time.
What advice would you give to someone looking to engage more deeply with their interest in pop culture as a way to improve their overall health and well-being?
I mean, pop culture gives you like an imagination, a big space, to just lose yourself, into something that's out of this world, like when you see like an anime fight, when you see an anime love story, when you see, like all the in manga and comic books and books, and fantasies, like it's all.
It takes you to fantasy land.
Yeah, exactly.
I love being. I'm Pisces, and we love to be in fantasy land, like Wonderland, and also by going there, by taking your mental space there, you start to foster. We've been talking about it the whole episode through about play. And as adults, we forget to play. We get so bogged down in the hustle culture of work, make money. But hold on. And there was never a playground for adults. And I feel like Geekdom is a playground for adults. The kids are obviously welcome, but like you say, adults are welcome. And it's important to do that because you then actually create longevity in your life. And people don't understand that. But if you go in there and you watch these people, they are people over the age of 50 in there, and it really fosters a healthier lifestyle in so many ways.
I keep telling my team that I keep pushing them to run the event by themselves and not get back to me as much as possible, because I keep telling them one day I want to be on annual leave and attend Geekdom as a guest, as a spectator, just to enjoy it, because it's fun just to
revel in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
As per AOL tradition, I ended off by asking Abdullah the invisible impact and legacy question.
We're actually coming to the end. This has been such an amazing talk, and I know it's going to hit a lot of people and it's really going to resonate with a ton of people. But I always end off with the invisible impact and legacy question. So at the end of each episode, I like to ask my guests something I call the invisible impact and legacy question, because I believe that we have an impact on the lives we touch, often in ways we can't see directly. So as we wrap up, I'd love to know, what's one unseen or invisible impact you hope to leave behind, not just from our conversation today, but in your life's work? Deep.
Very deep. And I'm very humble, and it's really hard for me to express the impact that I leave behind. I hate taking credit. That. But the economic impact that Geekdom is leaving, the good feeling with people, the push that they get, the encouragement, I want them to remember their humble starts and to play it forward. I want them to be able, as Geekdom help them, give them a platform, not help them. They're capable.
They did it,
But I want them to also play it forward, to be able to nurture a new generation, push for this success to continue, because starting the pop culture movement in Qatar was not easy. Making it acceptable is not easy. And I want them to continue that, whether I'm around or not, whether I work in Doha Film Institute or not, whether I'm retired or not. I want this to continue, because we need talented people. Not everyone needs to be an engineer, a finance major, or a doctor. They're important.
But hands down.
There is success through different ways of life, and I need to also give a shout out to all our partners who believed in Geekdom, who helped support Geekdom in many ways. Khalif Al Haroun, Mr. Q himself, Store 974, Hamad Al Hajri, as the CEO of Sinoon, who is a huge supporter. Media City, the CEO Jassim Al Khouri is a huge supporter. There's so many. Fadi Soufi, core game developer, also he's a huge supporter. I'm so appreciative of these people, because they help.
They saw the vision.
Put the puzzle together, because Geekdom cannot do everything together. It's the support. It's not just even sometimes it's tangible and intangible. It's them being there. It's them pushing. That helps the people to continue playing it forward and doing all these things, And also, Abdurrahman, Abdurrahman Ahmed Majlis Shabab, he's also an integral part of Geekdom. The board game space is just always.
I love that when I go into Geekdom, it's not just I saw people playing board games. All these women sitting around a table playing board games. I absolutely love that.
The last edition, we had a board game qualifier for Qatar, and who won is actually now will be representing Qatar and Germany to play in the World Championship.
And this is why Geekdom is such an integral part, not only of the Qatari country, but the world. Because I feel like we need a Geekdom in all spaces around the world. And I feel like hearing your aspirations, knowing that you want to go global, is exciting to see, because from a health perspective, you're going to touch lives in ways that you don't even understand yet, and you have been doing it already. And from the bottom of my heart, and I know I'm talking from a lot of the geeks as well, we thank you for the space that you've created. And Abdullah, before I get emotional, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast, and I hope in the future we can have more conversations like this.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you so much.
That's it for today's episode of the Anatomy of Life podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps others find the show. You can listen to the Anatomy of Life on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. This show was produced by me, Lexi, with music from Artlist.io. Thank you for listening, and as always, here is to your health.